ghost of our past is chasing, trying to stop us. The sound of our souls connected. It's nothing but one love. So don't give up tonight. Just keep living your life. Afraid of being alone. Rise like the sun, we fall in the ocean. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, 'cause we're only human. The ghost of our past is chasing, trying to stop us.
Hello everyone and welcome to my stream. Did I turn on the audio? I think I did. Okay guys, so I am just having a weird day today. I'm happy because I got my new webcam, which now means you can actually see me in 30 frames and it's way more clear. And then of course, as I had to shave really fast and I have a new shaver and I just cut myself, so good times, right? Good times indeed. Anyways, so I'm having a little bit of a mixed day. But I've been thinking a lot about Last Oasis because I've played that game a lot in the past, and I've been playing it a lot in this. Well, I've been playing a fair part of it, a fair part in season 2, and I've been having some issues with it. I had some fun with it, but I also been having some issues. And I wanted to make this video and talk a little bit about what I find problematic in the game and what I like about the new season, because I think there's a little bit of explanation necessary to actually tell people like exactly what happened. I don't want to make this a long video or a long stream. I just want to make a short stream explaining a little bit about how I see the game and what issues I'm having with it. I think other people might be having the same issue, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I am gonna put on some music because I want something to be there. I didn't want it to be that loud as it was before, so I guess we can put that on here. And I want people to, if they have an opinion, please comment and give your opinion on it. Because there's a lot of things that are very, very player specific or me specific that are necessarily not an issue for other people, but that might be an issue for me, right? So I hope that some people will join and we can have a little chat about it. If not, I'll just give you my opinion and that's that. So and then you can comment afterwards in the videos, right? But yeah, so I have been playing. I need to check if this is okay. I've been playing a lot of Last Oasis. I'm just checking that that I can show this off, because I want to show you how many hours I have, and just want to show you my Steam for a second. Oh yeah, this is gonna be in the way. Let's move this over here, and yeah, let's hope for the best. That's unfortunate, I have to turn this side. I don't like that, but okay. I hope that it's okay, man. It actually hurts a little bit, so it's not great. I don't I can't believe I caught myself saving, man. So stupid. Anyways, the thing is very sharp, so it kind of cut into my chin a little bit. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, I wanna switch to the main monitor. So now you can't see my face, which is probably best right now. Anyways, just gonna go on the live studio to check if everything looks fine. It does. So you can see here my Steam It's very simple. I have 636 hours. Most of those hours are from season 1, where I think I had like 550 or something. Well, I had 570 or something like that, something close to that. And this is part of the issue I'm having with the new season, because I think they made some very bad mistakes in the way they released the season. So let me talk a little bit about that. Let me talk about the things that I want to be very clear about. So we're gonna jump into the other one here. Hopefully this works. Yes, it does. Good stuff. Oh, okay. I did not have my. Maybe I can put my main monitor in there. Just give me a second, guys. Just alright. Let's jump into the screen for a second. Yeah. Okay. This is the first time I'm doing this, so it's a little bit unprofessional. I am sorry for that. So we're gonna copy that and we're gonna move it into the cam stuff here. Gonna paste it in here, and now you can see my OBS. Oh yeah, that's unfortunate actually. So if you're wondering, this is how you do scene settings in OBS, which is actually I kind of like doing it, but yeah, you know, it's a thing. We're gonna put this down here. There's a lot of things here that we should not be showing, so we're gonna move that over there. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this over here for now, so you guys can see. I wonder if there's a better way of doing this. Probably is, right? You know what? We're just gonna leave that there because it shows monitor 1. We're just gonna do like this because I need to have this in front of me so I can actually see what's happening. What I can do is I can put in a picture instead. That helps. Or we can put in the game actually. Let me see. Last Oasis. This might work. So we're gonna copy the thing here. I kind of forgot to do this before I started the stream. Just wanted to talk about this while it was still fresh in my mind, you know. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna deselect it. There we go. Oh, it's in front of the. Gonna move that down a little bit. There we go. All right. Oh, let's just leave it there. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the way the seasons was rolled out and the timing of it. I also wanted to talk about this chat not working. Oh, there we go. Right. I wanted to talk about the balancing and the things that they are working on in the game, and what it means for the gameplay when you're actually playing, and the changes they made to the gameplay. So there's a bunch of things, right? So we're gonna start with the season. First of all, I just want to say I love the game. I love the way the core of the game is made. Like the basis of the game is so good. It's actually I'm actually gonna shut off the music for a second because it's annoying me. So the basis of the game is it has a really good foundation. The system is built. The world or like not the history, maybe the history, but the world is built around the game, the way the game works, right? With the tile burning and the traveling from oasis to oasis, and it's a really good system. And you have the mechanics of the combat, the melee mechanics, the grapple hook mechanics, the walker mechanics, and all those things are really good. But there are issues with some of the things that they like choose to focus on with the different things, and it smells a little bit like Atlas in some ways. Now I want to make very clear that this game is way better than Atlas in every conceivable way, because the world is built around how the mechanics work. So it makes a lot more sense there's so many things that are worse than Atlas that we should not be talking about Atlas at all. I just want to make that very clear. This game is also, it has a way better foundations than Ark does, which is a big thing. But this game is also more focused on PvP than it is on PvE. So this game has been built with the intention of being a very good PvP game from the core upwards, and then adding PvE on top of it. So it's actually the opposite way of doing it than Ark is. So that makes this a little bit different, and that also makes this a little bit hard for me to say, but the game in season 1 was a lot about discovery. There was a lot of things that you had to discover. There's a lot of things you could test. There was a lot of wonderful things in the game that made you go, wow, that's cool. Oh, that's the new meta. That's the new meta. And you just kept rolling through the things when people discovered things and were able to build things. And that was pretty awesome. But the problem is that this game does not have the replayability of discovery that other games like Ark and Atlas do. And it's a little bit of a hard thing to like say, because I love the game a lot. I really do like the game. But my hours in Steam shows that last season I had almost 600 hours, and this season I had 100 hours. And that shows you how much the replayability in this game actually means for the game. So let's get into some of the details about it. First off, I want to talk about the way they rolled out the seasons in the game. I really hope that some people will comment and talk to me about this if they have other opinions, because that would be very good. And that would help a lot for me to also, like, if something is that I'm saying is wrong, then we can get it corrected, right? In other people's opinions, because I really value other people's feedback on this, because I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this, but let's start out with it. So the gradual release of content is very good. That idea is solid as fuck. Like I feel like that's a really good idea in a game like this. Season 1 was had its own gradual rollout in the form of development, and that's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice way of simulating it by doing it again in a gradual rollout of the season. Now, unfortunately, they fucked it up in the end, in a sense that they didn't allow enough time, and they rolled out too much, or they rolled out too much in one time, right? So either or. I think they started with the normal bone upgrades, which was a good amount of content, and they left that there for, I think it took, did it take 2 weeks for them to roll out? I think it took almost 2 weeks for them to roll out the next content, right? And that was great actually. Like, but you could still progress to the higher tiers. You just didn't have the resources to build it, so you could kind of prepare for the next step of the season, which is it's almost like a novel, or like a chronicle, right? It's like the Chronicles of Last Oasis, right? Where you have like the story, and then you progress into the next season. So it's almost like it had small seasons inside of it, which you could call technology chapters or something like that. And that idea is actually really, really good. I really like that idea, and I think they should continue with it. But they need to adjust how fast they release things. So the first part of the season was bone upgrades, and it took like 2 weeks, and that was a perfect time. Like 2 weeks was good. It was very good, and they even released like a small, I think after 1 week they released a new event map. That's probably one of the best maps they have ever made, and it allowed you to do trading with to get tablets for some of the things that you could build, and even for some of the things for the future season, right? So you had the possibility to actually get things done, and you could do a lot of piracy and stuff on those maps. So it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. but oh yeah, you used I forgot to talk about this. You used money, or you used the in-game currency, the floods, to buy the tablets. So you went in there with your floods, and then you got the tablets, and then you got out and home to your base, which was a pretty neat experience actually. It was fun for me. It was a lot of fun, and I know it was a lot of fun for the other guys too. And then we had the next part of it, which was hard maps and um, what is it called again? The release of the next resource, which is clay, that you make into. I'm missing the word. God damn it! This is where it would be nice to have some people to talk to here. Yeah, you made the shards, right? You made clay shards or whatever it's called, and that allowed you to build better things again and upgrade your walkers. Um, that time period was great. Like you had 2 weeks, and you had like an event map in between the 2 weeks. So you had 1 week of pure bone, and then you had 1 week where you had an event map. That was perfect. That's how you do it. So then you have this clay and the next part. It only took. Let me see if I'm remembering this correctly. I'm just looking at the calendar. It only took 1 week. So this ran in 1 week, and there's a lot of content in clay and the shards, right? There's a lot of content in there. They released the normal hard maps, and they released the all the hard maps like lava and the lava canyons or whatever. And that's a lot of content. That's actually a lot of technology content, if you want to say that, in a way. So what then happened was that they decided to a week after they only ran this for a week, and then they released the iron maps, which you can say is an event map, but iron is the like end game technology. That's like the current end game technology. So essentially, you had a huge content drop, and then you only let that run for a week. So people didn't have any time to like use this and really run it, which means that we skipped the clay stuff, and we just when it happened, we built some stuff that we needed, and then the iron maps came. And by the way, I'm gonna add something to this in a moment, but it dropped another huge technology bump on the. I feel like there was too little time between those. Like the clay and the shards should have been ceramic shards. That's what it's called, ceramic shards. The time between those, between iron and ceramic shards, was too short. There was too much content or too much technology in between them. So you got the necessary things, and then you just waited for iron. And as soon as iron tiles hit, there was so many iron tiles that you could just like get iron. It was like iron everywhere, and just build iron stuff, and you were way stronger than everyone else. The problem is that when you come from the bone things and you go into the ceramics, you use bone swords, and ceramic swords and stuff like that are really expensive to build. Like it takes a while before the community gets enough of the things, and you get like into we have to go get clay, we have to go mine all those things, we have to build up our walkers, we have to get the new boxes, there's a lot of content in there. And by having such a short period before the next huge content opened up, it was really detrimental to how the game was running, and it really it completely turned me off from because I was playing a little different this season. Last season I did a lot of piracy. I was in a big clan to start with, and then the clan broke apart, and I was like, I'm never gonna freaking join a huge clan again because this sucks, and I don't like how people were talking to each other. So I became part of a smaller clan, and then we kind of became pirates. Like we were 10 or 12 people in the beginning, and we took what we had from the old clan, and it was only our private stuff, and we built something new that was completely our own, and like it worked really well. And we were pirates. We were literally we didn't have any. The rule in the clan was no alliances except for the map we're living on. We can be allied with the people we are that are hosting the map for us. So we have a like a safe haven we can go to if something goes wrong. But we were literally pirates, and that worked really well. That was so much fun. Like we did some crazy things, we did some insane things, and I know the guys continued this thing even after I stopped, because there was a split in the clan at one point, and I didn't feel like it felt like people were like tired of, I don't know, PvPing too much or something, and I can kind of understand that. I was pressuring pretty hard to keep up the PvP, and I might have been going a little overboard. I'd get carried away sometimes, which is why I don't think I'm a good leader, because I tend to do that. So from now on, I'm just like the guy who helps out, and that's fine too. But anyways, there was a lot of piracy in the season 1, because you could literally pirate anything. There was nothing that was invulnerable or so expensive that you couldn't break into it. This made it very hard for farmers, and I understand if you're not good at PvP, this could be quite rough, to say the least. But it was a different game back then. So season 2 opened up with stone bases that you can build on legacy walkers, and I kind of I have to be honest, I like the idea, but I think they made it too hard to break. The thing is that if you make things more or less invulnerable, and only accessible for big clans, you make it so the big clans have all the power. I'm sorry to say this, but I do not like that the stone bases are almost impossible to break into. There needs to be a way to do it, and it has to be a little bit expensive, yes, like in expensive as in you need time to do this, but I think they made a mistake by making the bases completely invulnerable in the beginning. Like as soon as you got to the clay and the clay things from the bone, all the way in the bone, like the 2 weeks we had in bone, the bases were more or less impossible to break. Like you couldn't even build the arrows that you needed to break the walls, and this is a huge turnoff for me, because someone could literally take a Balang Walker or a the bigger one, the bigger carry walker, the bigger legacy walker, put it on your map, and just start raiding everyone, and they can put it in the base, and you can't touch them. You cannot touch the base. And then they log off, and then you can sit there looking at the base all day, waiting for them to come back so you can kill them again. Or you eventually have to go to bed, because people have lives and have to sleep, and you know. So that means that when everyone is off, one guy from the other clan just logs in, packs the walker with all the loot in it, and they're gone. And they have all the loot in safety. No one can touch it. This is a big problem in my opinion. I feel like they should definitely have thought that through a little bit. Like I understand that people want to. I'm gonna start the music again. That people want to keep their stuff safe. I understand that, but it's too safe. Like if you, it's too. And this game is very good towards people if you're just careful. Like you can lock all your stuff out in the lobby, and it's safe, and you will never have to do anything again. Like people can't get to your stuff in the lobby. The only chance of getting raided in season 1, for instance, is if you log in and someone jumps you and you can't get your stuff out. Back then you could teleport to people's walker and start fighting, and then you could get it out. They changed that, of course, and that's something we're gonna talk about later, but it's just, I think it's a big mistake to make it so safe that you can't raid people's bases at all when they're on the map. They need to make it expensive, yes, but not completely insane. And they need to make it possible from the start, which means from season 1 you have to be able to open stone bases or destroy them as in some way. It could be slow artillery, where you have to sit with artillery and throw boulders at the base to break it. Something that takes a lot of time to do. But there needs to be a way, because it's ridiculous that you are invulnerable on the map. It breaks the core mechanics in the game, and I think they fucked up on that. But let me get back to the because I was talking about the rollout, right? The rollout is I think they fucked up in the end of the rollout, where they opened up for iron too early. And another thing is that they made it too accessible, so iron was way too easy to get, and that's also a big mistake in my opinion. I'm just gonna change this a little bit because it's annoying me. Really? It's not allowing me to do this? Okay, there we go. Yeah. So that's part of the turn-off that I had. That's another thing that kind of came in the way, I guess. So they decided to release iron maps right when there were some big game releases going on. Cyberpunk released the same day, I think, as the iron map got released, and everyone and their mother was playing Cyberpunk 2077. So that meant that no one was ready for the iron maps except for the hardcore players, which means big companies or big clans took all the iron maps, and even though there was like 1 billion of them, because for some reason they like spawned in 1 million iron maps, it made it so that once people got back from playing a few days of Cyberpunk, the large companies had put their foot claim on the iron maps, so you couldn't get into them. And also they started with like a lot of iron maps, like hundreds, I don't know hundreds, but there was at least 50 in the EU tile, right? 50 iron maps. And then after a few days they were like, oh shit, there's too many iron maps, let's turn this down. So then the iron maps completely stopped spawning for a few days, which made it really a lot more worse, because the large companies had iron and they had a storage of it, so they started building iron stuff, and you couldn't fight them because iron is so much stronger than anything else in the game. And for a few days you couldn't get iron, so that was great. And then they realized that, oh shit, they might have turned it down too much, so they slowly turned it on again, and a few iron maps spawned, but by then it was already too late. The big companies had upgraded walkers with iron upgrades and everything, and they could just sit on the iron map and you would never get any iron. Now it's not completely impossible, like you can just join with a spider walker with your tools and stuff, and then fly around and get a little bit of iron ore and get out. That was possible, but it was still completely insane. If you took a walker there, you were almost sure to die, because you would be greeted by a fully upgraded Falco with iron upgrades and everything, or a buffalo for that matter. Like, it doesn't matter which type of walker, right? It was just being completely insane. Like even the dinghy with iron upgrades is so much stronger than a normal dinghy. So yeah, they completely fucked up the late release to it, which is a shame. I think, like that really turned me off big time. So yeah, that's my opinion on it, at least. I was hoping that they would do a slower rollout that would even last all the way to the new year. It would have been a great access to have like the 2nd or the 3rd of 2021 be where the iron map was rolled out. That would have been amazing. Like, that would have everyone would have been on board with that. Like, it would have been like, so great, right? So yeah, I do hope that they kind of changed. I hope they learned from this and that they kind of changed that, because the idea is very good. Actually, I really like the idea. and I think it's a good way for new people to get into how the game works and all that. So I completely agree with them having seasons go on like this, where they like release it slowly. I really like that, but they need to start focusing on the things that that matter more for people. I'm talking about balancing PvP, and I'm talking about creating PvE content. We did get some. Let's talk about the content first, okay? So because the balance thing is a long one, it's gonna take forever to explain. But let's talk about let's talk about the oh god, okay, let's okay, we're talking about the balancing after, and we're talking about the release of it. Oh wait a minute, I have something here. Yes, the release of the PvE content. I'm sorry, there was just something going on the screen here. Okay, so regarding the content that they need in the game, there's numerous things that needs to be fixed in the current content, and I think they understand that, but they're not really saying anything about that they want to repair. They're not like telling us that they will fix these things. So that this is where it starts smelling a little bit like Atlas and Ark, which I really do not want. I do not want it to be like this. So you guys need to understand that you have mechanics in the game, and your focus should be making those mechanics work before you start making new content, and or make new content at the same time. I don't care, but have a team to fix the current mechanics, and then at the same time have another team that's doing the new content. Right, I know you're a small developer, but you have to tackle both of these things at the same time. You cannot do one first and then the other, because no matter what you do, if you do not finish the mechanics that you already have in the game, and you don't make them work in the whole as a game, right? If they are broken and they are never fixed, then we are talking like Atlas are doing their game, and you're gonna fucking die like Atlas, believe me, because no one fucking likes broken grappling hooks. No one likes broken mechanics. Like you can just do the Conan Exiles thing, where you just oh, I just killed someone standing here, and now I'm gonna take the loot and just run away, and he can never catch me. You do not want these mechanics in this game, and in season 1 this was not an issue. So you cannot do one or the other, you have to do both, which means you're gonna have to have 2 different teams on this. If you do not do this, it's gonna be an issue, because the community is starving for content. I'm talking about PvE content. PvE content that allows PvP content to happen. So PvE content that enables conflict, right? So we're talking about that, and we're talking about fixing current mechanics in the game. And I'm gonna talk about the content first, and then I'm gonna talk about the mechanics that were broken and that are not good for this game. So let's talk about the content. What content is missing? Well, they did add some PvE content in the game in the form of they actually did a lot to fix the trade system in the game, and they actually succeeded in it. I feel like they succeeded in fixing the trade system, at least for the before Iron. I think they did. You have missions that give you floods in the trade stations, and that system works really well. Actually, I have to say that that's something they really did well. They made that a super good system, and it created a PvE that enables conflict, right? So you had to go to a Rupu camp and kill some Rupus, and there would be other players trying to do the same thing, and you would get into a fight, and that was all good. You even those other missions where you had to go scout things, and you're scouting things, and then you accidentally run into a player base, and you're like, oh shit, you have to flee because they're not friendly, like stuff like that. So it happened. It didn't happen often, but it kind of happened. So there is a like an idea in that system, and the quest rewards were good, right? You could easily get like 3k floods from a quest, stuff like that. Even better quests that gave you like 10k and stuff like that. So that was a really good system. So they did a lot on the trade system, and they even and another thing they did was they enabled you to access traders out in the field. So you had to find traders around the map where you went to them and bought stuff, and they would spawn, and then they would have tablets. They could have gear bags. They could have a chest that you bought, and then you could get some stuff and things, and that was really good. That whole system was really awesome, but that system is also dependent on resources being scarce, right? So you have to find a very sensitive balance with this, and that's why I think after they released the iron maps, I think this balance got disrupted somehow. So the trade system kind of started to fall apart right now. So that's where it is right now. So I think they have a balance issue that they need to solve with that, with the trade system and the amount of resources that are available. And I'm sure they're gonna figure that out. It's one of the hardest things to get right, but I'm sure they're working on that, because that's one of the things that they really want to get to work. And I like that. I actually like that trade system. That's awesome, and that's all good. So they did give us some. But they need more things. Something you guys know the like the giant crab, the monster that's walking around. That's like a boss. That's supposed to be like a boss fight, right? And I like that it's an open world thing, where you're just like harvesting your wood and your quality wood, and suddenly the crab jumps you, and you're like, oh shit. That's awesome. Like, you didn't mean to fight the thing, but it kind of found you. So I like that it's like that. But they have to fix the bugs with the crab. You should not be able to stand on its back and just kill it. That's not how this should work. So they need to fix those things. And there needs to be more bosses like that in the worlds around. Like, there should be a reason why you do not park your base out in the sand. There should be the sandworm should be a thing. Like, in all the oases, you have sand around the oasis, and that area should be a dangerous place to be, and that would help if the sandworm was there to hunt you down. But again, they need to make it so it's not bugged and it works well, right? Stuff like that. They need to add PvE content to the game, so it gives more, like having Rupus on Rupu infested walkers running around the map trying to kill players. That would be a great incentive. Having Rupus cities, where it's not just a little camp, but an actual built city that the Rupus took over from people or something, and like ruins or something, where they like took over the ruins and made it into an infested Rupu camp, where they had like a big Rupu boss in the end, where you could get, like, I don't know, you could loot a few tablets or something like that, like something like that that would give incentive to it. It could be an event map like a Rupu city or something. Like event maps like that would create a lot more game cycles. There's a word for it, but you would create cycles that you go through. Like, today we're going to do that. Today we're going to do that. Because the PvE thing about finding quality is very unappealing to a player like me. I like getting quality. I like building the quality things, but I don't like doing it like a PvE thing, because it's a chore. It feels like a chore, right? And I know you can like, I don't know if you can actually buy quality on the trade post. I actually don't know that, so that might be something. If you can buy it on the trade post, like the quality stuff, then that's really good for the trade system. But there needs to be more PvE content in the game, and they kind of have to put this out together with the season. Like, we're having a new content release. We're having new event maps all the time that keeps spawning, that keeps getting created. But also, you also need to create new PvE content on the already existing maps. So you have the burn system, right? So you have medium maps that are created. And by the way, I just want to say there's only 2 different... Okay, we're back online. Okay, so let's just get back to it. I think my internet is good now. Anyways, I'll probably have to upload this video again, but that's fine. It looks like we're still going in the same video, so that's fine. I hope that was not restream disconnecting, but yeah, whatever. we were talking about the maps and the PvE content. Like they need to put in more every season in order to keep people interested in the game. Because as my hours show, like the first time I played, I had almost 600 hours of gameplay. Second time I play, I have like 100. So that's how many hours I was able to put into the game. That's how much content I felt there was in the game. So yeah, that's the thing. And then we have all the broken stuff that needs to be fixed. In form of for instance, the crab, the giant crab. You can stand on the back of it and just chop it with an axe until it dies. You should not be able to stand on its back while it's running around. Like it should be able to shake you off or something. So yeah, there's a lot of small bugs that they need to fix, and they're just not doing it. I don't know why they're not doing it, because it seems like obvious things that shouldn't be like that. So I'm a little bit annoyed at that. There also needs to be some fixes regarding balancing, and now we're getting into the balancing and the items in the game, like the player items. And this is turning out to be way more than 10 minutes. Holy shit! But yeah, I feel like I need to explain this. So I am really unhappy with the way that the balancing of the weapons is working. In this game, if you don't use swords, you lose the match. Like it's as simple as that. Like the clubs don't work. And I'm talking about one-handed clubs. I'm talking about the what are they called again? The maces. They have no purpose in the game right now, because they are just worse than the swords in every way. Like I would like a mace, for instance, is supposed to be good if someone has a lot of armor on, but it's just worse than a sword. So yeah, there's some balancing issues there that they need to fix. Like the maces should be shattering armor, or like penetrating armor, because that's how you did it in the, as I understand it, how you did it in the old ages. You took a mace to someone with an armor and they would still get concussed, or like hit, like the kinetic damage would still hit you, and the armor would shatter, right? Because you couldn't cut through an armor because it was plated. So they need to fix that. And then we have the weapons on the walkers are also not balanced at all. Right now, you use the shatter guns or you lose the match, because shatter guns can do everything. Shatter guns kill personnel, they kill walker legs and wings, they destroy walker like buildings on walkers, and you can use the other ammunition to open walkers with, and they don't take forever. They like instantly open walkers. So oh yeah, and another thing, that a normal scatter shot breaks the water tank on your walker, so you lose your respawns instantly. And that's not. I mean, it would be okay if the scatter shot was good against people, and only people, right? That's how you like take out people. So you use the scatter shot. That would be perfect. That would be. You could have a few scatter shots just to make sure that you could keep your ship, like people from jumping on your ship, and then you would use like ballistas for capturing walkers, like the harpoons. And then you had to use the repeaters to destroy wings or destroy legs. That's the balance I think they're searching for, and they're not, for some reason, not finding, because they don't. I don't think the person who's doing it is not realizing that this needs to be a more of a balance thing. So that's a really big turn off, because the issue with it was bad enough when ballistas were doing the triple attack thing. So back in season 1, a ballista, if you fired it downwards and it hit, let's see if I can do this. You fire downward and it hit through a player and it hit the ground behind it, the damage would keep bouncing between the player and the ballista bolt, and it would kill you instantly. It was supposed to only give you like 30% damage, but because the damage was bugged, it would hit you and then it would do like a sound, like a do sound to you, and then you would instantly die. And it took forever for them to realize that there was a bug and fix it, because when they tested it, they fired straight at the person and it worked perfectly. Like it did 30% damage or whatever, and it flew right through him. but they didn't understand that it was going downwards, so it hit the player, and then it hit the ground, and then the damage kept bouncing on the player, and then he died. So with Scattershot, you have this thing where you have a gun that's almost an instant kill, right? For some reason, I don't think it's supposed to be that insane on distance, but for some reason it's almost an instant kill. And they are fairly precise. Like, it's like a shotgun, right? It's like a mounted shotgun. So and that's pretty nice. That's fine. That it's like it's really good against players, right? And they have a decent range. It's almost like a mix of a shotgun and a cannon, the way that they work right now. So let's get back to the ballista, because I think I didn't make my point. So the ballista was supposed to be good at grappling other walkers with the harpoon, and then you could use the ballista to shoot bolts at the legs or wings. So it made the ballista super strong compared to anything else, because the damage on the bolts against wings and legs was so strong, and also the damage against players. And if you shot a player that was standing in front of a ballista or something, and the bolt attached behind the player, it would still instant kill the player, right? So that was some serious issues with it. So the ballistas was just the end all be all. Like, you used only ballistas, and then maybe you had a few repeaters, because repeaters were really cheap in ammo. Like, the ammo cost almost nothing, and so you could do some interesting things with that. But it was still so strong and OP, because you do not want a instant kill shot in the game. But even with the ballista was like you still had to hit the target. Like, you actually had to aim this. So the scatter shot, you don't have to aim that much. Like, it's like a shotgun cannon, and it does everything that the ballista did in season 1, but better. And it also kills people in one shot if they're too close, right? I mean, it's insane. You should never have anything that one-shots a person, unless it's like a catapult boulder that you can shoot for, I don't know, 200 meters, and then if it hits you in the head, you actually die. I mean, that would be fine, because that's so hard to do. But having a scatter shot, like a shotgun, that instant kills you and destroys wings and legs so fast, while also draining the water on the walkers they're shooting at, that's insanely unbalanced. That's so overpowered. So what has happened now is that everyone is using scattershot. Everyone in the mod is using scattershot, because nothing else is good. So that's pretty bad. That's bad game balancing. So what they should have done, and they should have realized this in the beta test we did. We played on beta branch too, right? They should have gone in and said, oh, okay, scattershot is way too overpowered right now. It should only be good against people, and it might be able to destroy wings, and that's it. That's all it should do. And then you have the advanced ammo, and that ammo is very, very expensive, but it can drain the water out of the walker, and it can destroy stuff that's on the deck, right? It cannot open walkers, because you always need fire arrows for that. Because when you open a walker, it needs to take time to open the walker or destroy the walker, because the enemy players should have a chance to respond to whatever is happening. And especially now, since they removed that you can just spawn on other people's walkers, you have to actually be bound to the walker to spawn there. So you have to actually bring other ships in to help the ship that's down. You can't just spawn on it, right? So they needed to balance this way better than they did. And I understand that's hard, but you had a beta branch that ran for more than a month to do this. That would have been a very important thing to take care of, since you're claiming to be a game that's about PvP, right? So I'm really disappointed with the scatter shots. I'm really disappointed in the developers. They fucking dropped the ball on that one. Another thing that I was extremely disappointed about was the ability to grapple people was disabled, and they removed the way to interrupt someone who's trying to grapple away from combat. So let's start with the grapple stopping people, like disabling their walk. So what you did in the old days when some man-child was trying to escape with loot from the battlefield, was if there was no trees around and he couldn't swing, you could grapple him and it would temporarily slow him down, and then you could actually get into range of him and kill him. If he was a good fighter, he could fight back and he might even win. But this way you had a chance of catching people who were trying to like benefit or be harass the battlefield or harass people, right? It was one of the most important things for me in season 1, because I had played other games where you can just run away and you can't do anything. If a person, for instance, let's say we were playing Conan Exiles. In that game, if a person decides, I don't want to fight, I have stolen something and I do not want to fight, I can just run away, and the player who's fighting me cannot do anything about it. I don't know if they changed that, but that was how it used to be, right? And I love this game because you could not do this here. Someone would try to run away and you would grapple him while you were running at him, and you would stop him, and then he would be slowed down. There was a trick you could do where you could look backwards and counter grapple, but when you have a few people running at you, it's not a good thing to do. Not good enough so that you can get away, right? You would still have a chance, but it would not be as easy. So that actually meant that you could, in this game, you could catch people that were trying to be, that were trying to grief you or trying to do bad things. So that relieved a lot of stress when you have skill in the game and you actually can fight and you're actually like a group that are coordinating, right? Because no one would actually get away if you did it right. If you made a mistake, the person could run away, yeah, sure, but you had a chance to catch them. Likewise with the grapple hook, when you grapple to a tree or something and you swing away, if you get hit by a player in season 1, if you got hit, the grapple would stop working and you would be like dangling there. You could release it, I think you could release it, but you couldn't like grapple again because you got hit. That meant that you could actually capture people that were trying to steal stuff and run away, or trying to harass you while you're building stuff. Like it was like an anti-grief function. This turned out to be, what the developers said was that it was a bug in the game, that it was something that was not supposed to be like that. But I don't think that's actually true. I think they were like excusing the thing, because this mechanic allowed you to catch people who were trying to harass you, and people with bad skill would die if they didn't do it correctly, right? So it added a little bit of skill to the grappling away thing, which was really good. Like, of course you could get away. There was a big chance of getting away. It wasn't like if you got hit by a bolt you wouldn't get stuck or anything. It was only if you got hit by someone meleeing you, right? So it was really hard to capture people, but you could capture people. But that they removed that and claimed that it was a bug. So they like changed the way that the grapple worked. And that was that's a big mistake. That was a really big mistake, because now you have people people could, like, if someone was building a ship, for instance, let's say you have your camp, you're building a ship, and don't get me started on Rubus, because those things are fucking useless. Rubus slingers are useless. You don't even try to explain it the way you would. Oh, you can just build Rubus slingers to defend it. No. Rubus slingers are useless because they don't hit their targets always. So you can just like fucking swing around, or you can stand halfway out from a building and it will hit the building in front of it. There's a lot of things you can do to, and then the Rubus run out of ammo, so it doesn't matter, man. So you would be building your ship, and someone would be like, oh look, he's building a ship down there, let's kill him and take his stuff, while he's building in the middle of his camp with his other friends. So he would jump down, and while you're building you can't really fight, right? So you're kind of exposed. So for instance, you're building a ballista, someone jumps down, starts chopping you in the back. You might be able to block once, but you will probably die. You die, and this guy takes your expensive equipment you have on you and the resources that you are building with. And then, like, this would happen in season 1 too, but then he wouldn't get away because you could just hit him and he couldn't like grapple. He would fall to the ground and people would come and kill him, and that's fine. But in this, he could just grapple away and you couldn't stop him. He grappled to the building, he grappled away, he grappled to a tree, and then he was gone. with all your stuff, and he would keep doing this, like harassing your base, because there's no way to stop him. Like, do you see how broken that is? You could bring out, you could have like if you have some scatter shots, you might be able to hit him, kill him. But if you hit him once and he doesn't die, he just swings out and heals up and then comes back again. And this could happen the whole day, and there would be no way to stop it, because as I said, Rupus are useless, and there's no way to stop someone from grappling. Even if he makes a mistake and gets hit, he could still just grapple away. So this was I feel like this was one of the biggest turnoffs for me, especially the one where you can not stop people from running away. It made the movement skill in the game really important. Like your character, you can level in different things like movement, damage, health, and stamina. I think it is, right. And I made the movement thing really important. So you went like 10 damage, 20 HP, and then the rest in running speed. Stamina is useless, by the way. There's no reason to take stamina. And that just meant that you could just run away from people easily. And some people had a little bit of success with using what they called again, the javelins, I think. You could use the javelins to throw at them, like hit them, but they are really hard to hit with, so it's really not that easy to do. And even if you hit a person with a javelin, it's not like it slows him down a lot. It just hurts them a little bit. Like, I think you hurt him like 10 or 20%. So that really didn't work out so well. And you don't always have javelins with you, so I mean, you could probably do that, but I just feel there needs to be some way to stop people from escaping when you're fighting. And I feel like the grappling hook slow was really good. I feel like that was a really good compromise. To not have these griefers running around doing whatever they want, because it's also a detriment to farmers, like people who are not that good at fighting. Like, there's no way for us to like help them. If he gets the stuff, then he gets the stuff and he's gone. There's nothing to do. So yeah, that really turned me off too. So yeah, that's some of the balance issues that they had. If I had to say what the biggest turnoff was, I actually like a lot of the changes they made to the walker system. I'm thinking about the modules and stuff. I like that a lot. They did some good changes to that, and they also did. They did some good. I feel like they did some good changes to the walker combat. Like, if you are firing against another walker, even though the scatter guns are really overpowered, I really want there to be like a small cannon that actually can like be specific for taking out walkers. I think it's supposed to be the repeaters, but they just feel unimpactful. It feels like it's not fun. In a way, like you need that cannon feeling of it. I think they're missing that, and I think they should consider having a small iron cannon that you can build. Like, you can put it on a swivel or something, and then you can shoot it like you can shoot the scatter guns, but instead of a shotgun thing, it's like just a cannonball that you just shoot. And it does damage to legs on the walker, legs and equipment on the walker maybe. I think they need to specify these things so they're specific. Like, certain things need to do damage to specific components so that it has a purpose, right? Or else you're never gonna get that balanced, I don't think. So yeah, there's a lot of things they need to look at. The engine upgrades for the stiletto, by the way, the stiletto needs a little bit of love regarding the engine, because it's I know it's a torque engine, so it's a bit of a stretch, right? People who know me knew that was coming. But yeah, they really need to improve the way the engine works on the stiletto. But yeah, I just wish they would they would take better care of the all the weapons that are unbalanced right now, and that they would kind of see that like you need a way to catch people. I don't know if there's any way to improve the if you want to stream the game, because streaming the game is a lot, invites a lot of griefing, and it's really hard to improve, to make a system that like stops people from griefing, right? Because people will be people no matter where in the world they are, right? And if there's something of value, they'll definitely try to steal it, and if they can look on their third monitor to get it, they will sadly do it. Even though I would never do it, because I come from a time where looking at another man's monitor while playing the same game is considered cheating. And I feel like stream sniping is the same thing, right? I feel like there should be some kind of features that would help that. But for now, I think they should really focus on fixing the mechanics that are kind of broken, and making new PvE content. That's what they need to do. I will surely be playing this game again when they have made more content. I think I really will. I remember when I was skeptical when they released the game back in the day, before season 1, right? Because I looked at this game and it looked dreary, it looked dry, it looked uninteresting. But once I got to play the game, it was actually really good. And I might have forgotten to say this, but when the season 2 started, they had almost 6,000 players playing. And that's actually that was better than I expected, because they didn't do any advertisement or anything. So I really think that was really good. And there was a lot of new players too, right? It wasn't only the old ones coming back. So they did a good job on it. And if we look at the Steam charts, I don't know if I can pull this up without breaking my stream here. Let me see. Maybe we can do this where I put it over here and then I put the main monitor up. I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, so we went to 5,886 players on the release day. Sorry, I need to drink some water. Oh. And that was, I think that was, I expected about 4,000 people. So that's almost 2,000 people more than I expected, which is really, really good, with no advertisement or anything. So that was a really, really good start of it. And the game has been up now for almost how long is it? Like, let me see how long this is actually. Oh, this doesn't work. There we go. So 22nd of November was when the release of season 2 happened, and it was a very nice day, man. It was so much fun. There was a lot of people on. There was a lot of things happening. I streamed some of it too, and I put a video up about it. And as you can see here, the oh, it's a little bit. Can I zoom in on this? Wait a minute. Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, we had a big spike in it, right? And then slowly it goes down a little bit. This always happens because some people join the game and it wasn't what they expected, and then people come back a little bit. It also mellows out, right? Because this is the top amount that's online at the same time. So you have people in different time zones at different times being online. So you have to remember that this is a global server. This is not just the EU. It's the whole world. So you have these things where there's almost always a lot of people on, right? So it kind of mellowed out after the release, and it always does this, and it mellowed out to about 4,400, and we had that for like 2 weeks. Wait a minute, 2 weeks? Is this correct? Yeah, I think 2 weeks. And as you can see, they had a big swing here where they released the new content, and then they released the second content, and oh wait a minute, it's right here, right? And then it just fell down a lot, actually, because of Christmas and all the things that are happening. Because of I think it was the 16th. when Cyberpunk released. As you can see, the number just fell right down to like really low. So yeah, if we go to the new numbers, you can see that they have recovered a little bit, which is nice. I like that the game is doing well. It's good. But now all the content is out, and it's just gonna be the big clans that are back fighting for things. So yeah, let's jump back to the so yeah, I mean they did really well, but they need to do a slower release of the things when it comes to bone upgrades were fine, like for 2 weeks, but then they need to have like 2 weeks more, and then iron and whatever else comes, right? So yeah, it just shows it in the stats too. I just wanted to make sure that people could see that. So yeah. So all in all, I think the game is gonna be great one day, but it's not quite there yet. And I think there's a lot of improvements that they need to make, especially if they want me back, because I do like the game, but I feel like there's some stuff missing, and I feel like they fucked up some balance issues last time. I do want to say before I end the stream that they did fix a lot of the bugs. They have been doing really well with bug fixing and fixing abusive things too, like the sword swings and some of the other bugs where you could like I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering all the bugs they fixed, but there were numerous bugs that were really bad, like, and I know they're also trying to fix meshing, where you can like build stuff inside the walkers, and I would like them to be a little faster on this actually, because that's I feel like that's one of the worst things when you have like, you could literally at one point you could mount like a scatter shot halfway inside your walker, or you could put it halfway inside the walker, and then you could mount it so your person was only like was halfway inside the walker with the gun, so you couldn't get shot. I think they did fix that, but I feel like they should fix more of those things, and also prevent people from blocking the pilot levers, because you need to be able to you have to protect your pilot of a ship, so you need to be able to also hit him as an enemy if you're attacking him. But if you have a good crew that are actually protecting the pilot, he won't get hit and you'll be fine. But they need to work on all those things, because there's a lot of things they're missing on it. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I wanted to make a video that would take about 10 minutes, and it's been over an hour now, so I'm gonna stop before it gets too too insane. But I think I described the reasons for me not wanting to like play anymore this season. It all comes down to the slow reaction to like manage those things in the game, and that there's not enough PvE content getting added to the game that creates conflict, right? So those things are very important, but also they fucked up some of the more simple things, like being able to stop people when getting grappled. That's the big thing for me. Like, you should be able to like slow down people so you can catch them, because if you can't catch people, then you end up with griefers all over the place. And then we have the indestructible stone bases. That shit needs to just go the way of the dodo. You need to be able to break it with a catapult boulder or something. Something that takes a lot of time to break it, but that is possible to break the stone bases from day one, or at least when people get like the catapult or the slingshot or whatever they need. There needs to be a way that's easier and that's not impossible to get, right? I know you can get the hellfire arrows to break the bases, but there needs to be either that needs to be a little bit cheaper, or it needs to be a different thing that can open the bases, because you should not have invulnerable bases that you can just put on the map and no one can touch it. That should never happen in a game like this. That should never be a thing. So since Jack Shepard is a bit of a pirate, I think this was a big detriment to why I'm not gonna play the game anymore. To all the peoples of the clan, I love playing with you guys, man. It was a great time. I enjoy playing with you guys a lot, because you're relaxed, you're chill, and you're wonderful people. So I hope to play with you guys in the future too. And yeah, I guess that's it. Much love, and have a nice New Year's Eve and all that stuff, guys, when you get to it. I know I will be having a good time, and hopefully I will be. Hopefully I'll hear from you guys, or I will send messages and stuff. But yeah, I'm just wishing that that Last Oasis would get their shit together and fix the things that need to be fixed. Ooh, one last thing actually. I hate Reddit. I really hate Reddit. Last Oasis moved their forums to Reddit, so we can use it to like recommend things and do stuff. Move it away from Reddit, guys. Move it back to your own forum. I need a way to like give feedback that is not Reddit. So please do that. Please don't use Reddit for that shit. It's a horrible system. So yeah, with that in mind, I hope everyone is having a great time and a great night, and I wish the best for everyone. So I hope to see you guys around, and have a nice New Year's. Bye bye, guys.